Yes, it's us. Hello.
Hello, Ashley.
We did it. Hi, Ashley. We figured it out somehow.
When Derek and I were doing it, it took forever.
Oh,
and he was pretending to be a coach at the time.
Yeah.
So he kept on making like funny things about like, we good?
Yeah, I think so. I guess we'll have to kind of angle it a bit, maybe. Here, I guess it's better to see.
If we scoot it back. Good?
Yeah, looks good.
All right. So first things first, what are your goals?
Well, I told you before, I threw everything out yet literally yesterday afternoon. So, I already pretty much know, like, front to back what I'm doing already.
Yeah.
Just like rattling it off when I was walking around, and today when I was driving up here. So I just like to tighten it up a little bit more.
Got it.
Because like I already have my set. Well, I guess I should be more specific because that would actually be helpful. Okay, I guess it moves us into the rough draft, but it's more solidifying what I'm doing. Is what I'm looking for, and to make sure that what I'm saying hits. Because I have I have my set ideas, but like there are some things that aren't. There's a bunch of stuff that isn't concrete, and I just would like to make things more concrete.
Concrete. Got it. Okay. Do you have any hopes for this session besides making it like concrete? Like, is there any like certain things you have like ticks on that you want me to watch for?
I say because a lot. I use because as a way to explain my points. You're in 322 with me, so you know that I'm a Ravenclaw, which is appropriate. But I feel like I have to have a need for everything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't have a point in what I'm saying, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So I use because as like a moniker to explain myself.
Yep.
And I would like to not use it as much because I'm really bad about doing it.
Got it. I'm gonna give you this paper with my notes when I'm done.
Yeah, especially for the outline, I just want to have something that I can, because I don't write like anything down. Ashley, I'm sorry to say this. I don't write like anything in my speeches down.
Yeah.
I don't like to because
you go over it in the car.
Yeah.
I think we went over this.
Yeah. For me, a script in a speech is something that I just do in my head and I work out as I go because if I have a script, I pigeonhole myself too hard.
Yeah.
And I'm too set on when I'm doing stuff, and if I speed up or slow down, it kills me because I don't freeform add as well at that point. But if I just do everything vocally and in my head, it's easier for me to ebb and flow better as I'm doing it. And also, if it's a script I don't like emotionally get invested as hard. So if I can just like vocalize
and then
by
I think
myself,
it allows you to connect better with your audience.
Yeah.
I think that's one of your strong points.
Yeah.
So like you just go. That sounds good.
Right. I'm also one of the other things I want to have is I have a lot of like ups and downs in this because there's like a lot of personal stuff and I just want to make sure that like emotionally I'm connecting it well because I tend to be very what's the word? I tend to be very like excited and passionate, but there are sections where I want to be more like down and level and like somber emotionally. So I want to make sure that I'm getting that kind of up and down throughout it as the story goes.
All right. Sounds good. Do you want to talk about anything else? Like, do you have any troubles with anything we can walk through before we go through a rough draft? Or do you have any questions? Like you're like unsure about something and you want like another perspective before we go through the rough draft, or you want to try like after?
No, I think it would be better to go through the rough draft because I'd rather it not be as vague before we get into it. So that you have an idea of what I'm looking at, and so that you can see it from your perspective. So I think that would be easier for me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna time you. So I was pulling up earlier was a timer.
Oh, so you want me to just do the run through?
Yeah, just
Oh,
go through.
I thought we were gonna go through like what I wanted to do points wise.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be easier for me. Because then you can give me some feedback on what you think of like having each section, and then I can kind of go from there. Because I feel like I have something that's pretty solid in terms of where I'm at,
Right.
but I want to see if I can shore
I'm
up.
curious to see how you're tying in walking.
Yeah.
Like this idea of like we're walking.
Right.
You think it's just human like
Right. So it's not walking per se. It's going for a walk.
okay. Oh, okay, so this idea of like going
Yeah.
for a walk.
Just going for a walk, and not having, I'm gonna be out this long, or I'm going this certain direction or this place. It's
Okay.
just walking to go for a walk,
Okay.
where you're not picking forks before you get to them.
Okay.
So if there's a right, a left, and a straight,
Yep.
you're walking up to it and you go, I'm gonna go left.
Mhm.
And everything's kind of, it's not concrete. Nothing you're doing in the walk is concrete. You're just walking to walk. So I guess the like summation of
Mhm.
what my speech is a walk is the perfect way to get yourself somewhere by going nowhere. A walk is the perfect way to get yourself somewhere, even when you end up in the same place. Because for me, a walk is a way to like reset myself, especially when I'm like stressed, and there's a lot of weight on my shoulders, and like I just have a lot going on. Just getting out and getting away and like being in like nature or an environment that's outside of the walls that I'm used to, whether it be at school or at home or in my car, is just a fantastic way for me to just kind of let everything go and to de-stress for a while, because I don't have to worry about anything on a walk. Well, the only thing I'm worrying about is that my legs are moving, and that's something that's automatic.
Right.
So I realized that a lot of like times in my life that like things I really remember happen on walks.
Have you seen Winnie the Pooh yet? In
No.
live action?
No.
I think you should take the time to watch it because I feel like that moral sense of the movie is kind of what you're wanting to bring in your moral speech. Because like Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin, even like in his books, like about Winnie the Pooh, and they say it in the movie too, but he's like the best somethings come from the greatest nothings. And I feel like that's like kind of resemblance to your idea of this walk. Like, you don't have to have a destination
Right.
for the walk to be.
To matter. Yeah. For it to mean something.
It's not just this idea of walk.
Right. So I guess like top to bottom in like a structured order, I wanted to start
Structure.
my plan was to start with how I came to that this is my second time. I wanted to start with like I thank everybody and how honored and privileged I feel being back here, because this is not my first time here. It's the second, and the first time I was here was 2010 to 2012 is when I went to Ball State. That I left for a lot of reasons. A major one of it was that I had developed depression when I was here, because I was never leaving my room or my classes. I was not involved in anything and not doing anything outside of like being on my computer. I was very stagnant in my place. And that kind of leads into, but one of the best things that I did here was that I met someone and I went on a walk with her that was like 5 hours one night.
Ooh.
And we walked every single piece of campus. And I mean like everything. Like probably a bunch of places we weren't supposed to be. I went around the entire field house. I walked behind every building in the quad. Like we ended up in Muncie, which was a terrible idea because we went past a park at like 4 a.m. and there were 2 people sitting on a bench that saw us, and they both got up and went to the dude's trunk, and so we ran back onto campus as fast as we could. And I just like remember like holding her hand laughing when we got back onto campus because it was like such a visceral moment, and I didn't get a lot of those at that time in my life. And how much that like really did mean something to me, even though we weren't doing anything except just walking and talking. And that story leads to my point of the importance of the walk, how you're doing nothing but walking. If you're with someone else, you're just talking about whatever comes up. But it's so much easier to express what you're talking about and have your feelings and thoughts and emotions kind of flow because your brain is focused on walking and not everything else, and so things just flow out naturally. So you can really like get to know the other person, not just the other person well, but yourself as well, because it's just automatically what's going through without a filter. So it's like a sense of connection with yourself, other people, and especially the environment around you. Because on a walk you can take in all those things that you don't normally, like, you know, birds chirping, or I almost got hit by 3 ducks yesterday. They were trying to land. They almost flew into me.
Geese or ducks?
Ducks.
Oh, okay.
There was one Canadian goose, but he didn't come near me. Thank goodness. He stared me down for a while. But
Those things are like yay high.
right, they're huge and they're evil. They're
really
so
scary.
mean. And like the sounds of like the wind through the trees, and the cars in the distance on a highway. And I kind of want to incorporate like sound, and because I want to show like because I have a bunch of pictures of like hikes and walks I've taken, whether it be like when I was in Arizona or by my house. I took a bunch yesterday. I actually took them on the second walk I took yesterday, because usually when I go for walks, I don't take any. I take nothing with me. And I'm not saying everyone shouldn't have a phone on them, because like I know I'm a white male and I'm privileged in that I can do that. So I just, as a personal philosophy, when I do go for walks, I don't have a watch,
Right.
I don't have a phone, I don't have my wallet, I have nothing, and I'm just there.
Okay, hear me out on this one.
Uh-huh.
What about with your intro, instead of like a personal story? Start with like, remember how Michael and Maggie like say close your eyes when they played like
And do
song?
the
Yeah,
sounds.
so what if you said like, what if you like turn off the lights and put like your video of you on a walk or something, like from, what's that, like it's first person perspective, so it's like they are your
Right.
person.
Holding it.
Yeah.
So I did think about that,
Mhm.
and I don't think it's difficult to get like audio sounds, but I'd have to pull them because like the phones don't record the
Right.
sounds.
Right.
It's mostly going to be the sound of my feet, which I don't necessarily like as much, because I think because when you're walking, you don't really hear, like I don't hear my feet.
No.
Like that's not something that I hear. I hear
Okay.
all the other things, which I wanted to integrate, but I wanted to do it as like, when I transitioned from that first story
Mhm.
into the first segment of what I'm talking about,
Mhm.
I wanted that to come in naturally with it.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to be a stiff, close your eyes and imagine thing.
Right.
I want it to be, as I'm talking and talking about those things, for those things to come in and for it to naturally flow as part of it.
Cause what I'm doing for mine is like I have a voiceover
Yeah.
and I interact with that voiceover.
Uh-huh.
And the person on the voice is a customer.
Right.
So what if like you put them in this world of like on a walk, but instead of like having sound, you're talking. Your
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah, that's like as a
Mhm.
recorded one.
No, you.
Well, yes, yeah, that's what I wanted to do was
Okay.
so I'm doing the story, and as the story transitions and I start talking about all those things that like
Right.
you're hearing and you're seeing and you're sensing and you're feeling, I wanted those audio things to come in along with the images that I have.
Yeah, I think that'd be very interesting. I just feel like the transition would be the worst part. The transition to the lights on. Or like the transition to like the movie stopping. You know?
Of like what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So like from your transition of like getting everybody's focus, like putting them in the mood of this idea of a walk, and then being like now moving on to like the importance of the walk and what that walk meant. And like why it's important to be in that walk.
Right. Because I was thinking more the first story leads into, because that's what I want to start with, because I think that has a large significance and is a good draw-in, is that first story, and like.
I do too. I definitely agree.
And I just think moving from that into a more of like of that importance of it, and like what you get out of it as being like that visceral thing connects it more, because I'm also gonna move back into another story.
Right.
But the story is gonna be about the last like 4 days I had before today, because it was a fall back into what had happened to me before. So it's like a transition.
Right.
So it's story, what I'm talking about, story again, and finishing what I'm talking about. I wanted it to be like 4 parts.
Okay.
And to have the stories connect those things into
Like
why is this important and why it matters.
And that is actually applicable to your life, and it could be
Right.
applicable to ours.
Right.
I get that. Okay.
I have a really stupid end picture as well. I have a cheesy end of the where the sidewalk
Cool.
ends.
Aw, maybe it'd be cute to like end with a quote from that.
I thought about putting that in, but as I was in the car on the way here, the one thing that I kept thinking about was just having people ask the question, want to go for a walk, whether that be to yourself or someone else, and just ending it with like, so what do you say? Want to go for a walk, and
Cool.
that pops up on the screen, and then it's just a thank you from there.
I like that too.
That I feel like it wraps it up well.
Right, because it kind of seems like almost a call to action, but more of like an openness to action.
Mhm.
Like, hey, like.
I also so I found yesterday right by my house there's a spot where the sidewalk ends, and that's the
Oh.
picture I have. But it literally just popped up in my head, maybe starting it with where the sidewalk ends and ending with, instead
Ooh,
of
okay.
turning it and taking it, because I have the picture of it ending, but I don't have the picture of it from the other side
Right.
of it beginning.
You could talk about perspectives.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and then that, having it be the beginning, I can have the picture of it beginning and then pop up. So what do you say, want to go for a walk? And having that be a part of that, the sidewalk beginning.
I like that. That's interesting. Because I mean, like, it just depends on like which perspective you're looking at. The
Right.
sidewalk. Like, is the sidewalk really ending?
Right.
Is it
Is it really a beginning?
right? Okay. I feel that. So we went through like the rough structure.
Uh-huh. Oh, I didn't talk about the second
Oh,
story.
because you talked about the importance, then like possibly that.
Right, and then doing a second story. So the second story is about it is about time now,
Mhm.
because that was when I was here before. This is about me being here now. So I'm gonna talk about like I have like there's a ton of work piling up at the end of the school year, and it got me so stressed that I fell back into my old depressive state. Like all the things that I used to do and all the things that I stopped feeling, all of that came back. in the last week. And I stopped caring about everything, and I didn't want to do anything. And so yesterday, I'll say a week ago, but a week ago I fell back. I said I need to get out, I need to get away from all this stuff, and I left all my stuff at home and I just went for a walk. And on the walk, it put things into perspective. I sensed where I was at. It grounded me, and it also made me say that I didn't like what I had for why I'm standing in front of you right now. And I threw everything out, much to probably Ashley's dismay. And I just wanted to talk about something that really meant something to me. And I realized that this is something that holds such a key part of my life, and has such a huge impact in just in everything I do, because it lets me like understand where I am and what I am and who I am. Just in the space of just moving around. I get a better sense of self in my environment. And so that, talking about, it'll be more, I hope I don't cry during it, because it's hard for me to talk about. But just that leading into more of the, why. So the first part is, what is it? Like the first thing I'm talking about is what is it? And then the second part is why does it matter? So story, what is it? Story, why does it matter? Because the two kind of work with each other, I think, well.
I think you're right. It shows like, I don't want to say like factory line, but kind
Right.
of like, here it is, now it's more developed, now here it is again, and now we're finished.
Right.
Kind of like,
Yeah.
it's all inclusive.
And to me, it's a good, like,
I think
emotionally, it's like you get invested in the story, explaining what exactly the story, the point of that story is, going into it being applicable today, and then why that matters. And so it's kind of like an up and down in what I'm talking about. And then
I feel like you did a really good job hitting like Ashley's points, like those 3 points she gives us that like put it in one sentence. Why does it matter and why is it unique?
right,
And I think like I would have never thought about walk. Like,
right,
it's
right, because it seems so simple.
Right, it's just so humanistically
Right.
natural.
But the thing we do is we're always walking somewhere.
Right.
We're never walking anywhere.
Right. Like,
It's
it's always
you're
from
always
A
going to
to
a
B.
place. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always A to B. It's never A and somehow back to A again.
right.
Or
I
like-
like it.
A to who cares? Like it's never open.
Right.
Like I walked from class today to where I'm sitting right now. I guess if I'm up there, to where I'm standing right
Yeah.
now. But it's so rare that people give themselves the opportunity to walk from where they are to anywhere at all, and just letting it happen. And that's something I think is really important, because it's a great way to get a feel for where you live, and just being a part of nature and letting things exist around you. Not being the focus, but being a part of something bigger. And it just kind of grounds you. And kind of that feel for things.
So we have to talk about like body language, like
Mhm.
your hands, your pacing,
Yeah.
your contact.
That'll be easier for me to get up to do that. I'm glad I grabbed this pen and paper, because I never write anything down.
It's the comfort
Yeah,
of having it.
yeah.
Okay,
Even if I never use it.
so let's start with like maybe a story,
Mm-hmm.
and like how would you approach like telling the story and using like motions and hand motions?
Right.
You can, I mean, like I know everything's not like fully
Yeah.
thought out yet, so if
Right.
you need to just like
But
Wow.
everything is kind of
right,
free flowing for me. So how I get emotionally invested into what I'm saying is a big key to like hand gestures like right now. But I want my focus in this to be palms up because I want it to be welcoming and inviting. Because I don't want to do like
you're pushing them
right.
down.
I don't want to push anything, and I don't want to like
Call someone out.
right. I don't want it to feel forceful. I want it to feel inviting because it is inviting.
Yes.
It's a walk.
Right,
It's
and
not
especially at the end when you like welcome them to like coming
Right,
on a walk with
right.
you. So
so it, like for that it would be like, so what do you say? Want to go for a walk?
right. Okay. Cool. So do you want to like give me a couple lines of a story with some emotion?
Yeah.
Just like
I guess I can do the. This is so weird doing this.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just have to like mentally.
It could be any line, just like a couple lines.
Right.
You can talk about like
I want
going
to
into
do
Muncie again.
right. I want to do the first one because I
Okay.
feel like the first one kind of gets me into everything else. I guess I'll just start at the beginning because it's
Go for
easier to
it.
do that way.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to think how to start though. I wanted to do. First off, I want to thank you for being here today. I feel extremely honored and privileged that I get to stand up here and talk to you because this is my second chance at Ball State. This is not the first time I've been here. It's the second. The first time I went here was from 2010 to 2012, and I left in 2012 for a lot of different reasons. But key among them was that I had developed a severe amount of depression at the time. And
Okay, hold on, stop.
Okay.
So I have to get up here and show you. You do a lot of like hand motions, but you like stay in place.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm doing this. But you talk to like thanking them. Maybe like I want to like thank you guys, like opening it up and showing like your body to everyone else, like thanking them.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to say like pull yourself back because I'm really bad about doing that. It's like stepping forward to the audience and then pulling myself back away from them.
Yeah.
But you are not. You just kind of like stand here. But then you talk about so maybe like thanking everyone and kind of like
And then
right, and then kind of like pull yourself back.
right.
But then you're going to be like, I was here from like 2010. Kind of tell a little bit about like your story about 2010.
Right.
And show movement to now 2012. Because I liked when we watched that demo, and I watched a little bit of the demo.
Where it was like
Here's one place, here was me,
right,
and then now
here's
here I am
now.
again.
Right.
Even if it's just
So
like
it moves.
not like a pacing back and forth.
Right, but it's like it could be like a one step.
Right.
and
Maybe
another
even
step.
start farther back
Uh-huh.
from the audience, move up a little bit to thank everyone.
So like
and kind of
a
like come like a V.
so like
here.
first of all, I want to thank you all for being here. I feel very honored and privileged to be able to be in front of you. This is not my first time at Ball State. It's the second. I was originally here from 2010 to 2012, and I've just come back in the last couple of years to get to try to do this again.
Yeah, I think so. But like when you started talking, like I just want to thank all of you guys. Like maybe start walking this way.
Mhm.
So then when you say 2010, like right before you, what do you say? You say something about how like this is not my first time being here. I was here from 2010 to 2012.
Right.
So maybe
So it sets it
emphasis
pacing
on
wise.
like
Okay.
emphasis on like here I am.
Let's move this slightly because we keep walking now. Sorry, Ashley.
Sorry, Ashley. So maybe like point, like make sure you make it a point, like I was here,
Right.
2010.
So that's my stopping point is when I'm. Thank
Right.
you all for being here. I feel very honored and privileged to be here. This is actually not my first time here. I was here from 2010 to 2012
Yeah,
originally.
showing that like a progression 2010 to now 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Progression.
Right.
Movement.
It's movement.
Right.
What? I'm moving right to left there first. So for everybody else, yeah, because left to right, that makes sense.
Because you read a book left
Right,
to
right.
and it's linear.
2010 was earlier. 2012 was later.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
and then after that I can kind of step back into 2012.
Right. Have you heard of like the speaker's triangle?
No.
Is what they call it. So when like you give a presentation, when I was in speech class, like I did speech and debate in high school for like a year.
Yeah.
And when you did like extemporaneous speeching, they always talk to you to walk in the speech triangle. So it was like over here, like it was only in a triangle. So then you maybe came over here, but still talk to your people.
Mhm.
And then when you went to go close, you kind of like step back.
Right, but you stay in that triangle.
Yeah, I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense, but like maybe keep like that triangle idea in mind.
Right, especially for this, because
Right.
it's like I'm starting back, I'm thanking everyone going to the
Right.
first place, we're moving on to the later time, and then I take it back slightly.
Right. And then
To
maybe you
talk
can
about
walk
something-
forward because you're still within that triangle.
Right.
Here, when you say, "Hey, you guys want to go on a walk?"
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Kind of, but like it kind of sucks because I don't really want you to go back because you're kind of welcoming the audience. But
Right.
I think it's definitely a good idea to
but
start
I think
back.
like maybe not a full back, but like
Yeah.
once I'm over here, I can take like, a step as it gets more personal.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because I feel like me talking about like the depression stuff
Uh-huh.
is something that's more,
I think that's a
like,
natural
inward?
human instinct. too.
right, because it's more vulnerable. So I feel like
Mhm.
the step back kind of, like, in a way explains that a little bit, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, I agree. Like, I think it would be okay to like step back because I mean, like, you don't have to go in this tree as long as you
Right.
stay in this
We're in the space.
in the space.
Yeah.
I agree. So maybe let's try it again.
Okay.
Like from the top. Let's go. You got this.
Okay, so it's welcoming, thanking, being here, 2010, 2012, talking about wildlife. Okay. This is so weird doing this.
I know, and it's just me.
Yeah, because
I
I only
agree.
have one spot to eye contact, so it feels weird looking around an empty
Right. I
room.
mean, if you have to, I'll look away at some, so I'm not like,
Do you think you could be back farther?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I feel like that would help.
So I'm not like right on you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because then I have to focus farther out.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. First off, I want to thank you all for being here today. This is a major opportunity for me because this is not the first time that I was here. I originally came to Ball State from 2010 to 2012.
It's okay.
One more time.
Maybe stop earlier. So like
Yeah.
when you say 2010, you're moving
Right.
a little bit, and then
This is not
2012.
the first time I've been here.
Yeah, and then
I
start
originally
moving.
came here from 2010 to 2012
Yeah,
and stop after I said
Yeah.
okay.
I think so.
Okay. First off, I want to thank you all for coming today. I feel very honored. This is not the first time that I've been to Ball State. It's the second. I originally came here from 2010 to 2012. In 2012, I left for a lot of reasons, but a major part of that was that I had developed a severe amount of depression while I was here. I wasn't going out much. I pretty much stayed in my dorm or went to classes the few times that I did, and I had a really bad time seeing anything around me and getting things done. And it was a time that was more gray than anything in my life, and I didn't feel much. But there's one set. Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, we went over
There's-
the part we asked to
yeah,
go over.
yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was really better. Oh, really? Oh.
For the next part, that is what I want to kind of do. But I want to, when I'm transitioning into the next part,
Mhm.
it's moving to but even in that time, there's a major moment that sticks out to me more than any. And when I say that, I kind of want to
Step forward.
step forward because I'm going from the more inside stuff to the more outward things.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll.
And I even think like if when you're talking about like walking, if you could be like, and we were like walking,
Yeah.
like not like a shuffle because that made me look like I was.
But I
dancing,
want to kind of.
like
I feel like I want to kind of be like I'm walking along with the audience.
Right.
So I can be like, and we went for a walk and we just walked everywhere on campus. We walked around, we talked about everything, and we were doing it for hours on hours. And
I just be careful looking down.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm really bad at
Well, I'm doing it without people is a lot
yeah,
harder.
I know.
But because I want it to feel like you're walking alongside me.
Yep.
And I don't want it, because if I'm walking like this, it feels really, if we're talking about going
like
on
you
a walk.
feel like you're dancing.
Right,
Yeah.
right, but if it's more like this,
Yes.
where I'm sort of angled,
But you're like upper.
but like my lower body is
agree.
still with everybody, and I can kind of, not quickly, but I can do a more of a back and forth. But when I'm talking about specific things, stopping
Yes.
and saying something important,
Mm-hmm.
and then continuing with the walk.
Right. I think that gives that visual of like it's so natural to walk. I just be careful of pacing.
Right.
So make sure like when you definitely hit that point, you like stop. Because like that makes you feel like this whole time you were on a walk with you.
Right.
Just talking. And
I think that the walking comes more into play in the stories than it does
yes.
in what I'm specifically talking about, the what is it,
that's
and
when you.
the why. When it's the what is it and why I want to be playing it.
Yeah.
I want to say a thing, because especially with the, like, I'm going to have a bunch of pictures and stuff, I can,
Right.
point back at, or like open hand
Mm-hmm.
as like a draw in
Mm-hmm.
to it. Obviously, all of the pictures on my phone, and I redid this yesterday, so I have no visuals other than the pictures I have. But I don't have it uploaded.
But I think like you do, like as a natural speaker, you have very good like tone and enunciation. So I don't think you really have to worry about that too much.
Right.
Just like mind your P's and Q's just in case, like be like, good morning, like.
Right.
Like,
But I need to. I'm doing it now, obviously, because now I'm getting more into it.
You really do really well with your voice. I think that's like something, your timing and your voice, I think, was what makes you a really good presenter.
Mm-hmm.
And you, like, your hand motions are always super inviting.
Yeah.
But I think, most definitely, I think that's what attracts your presentation to your speakers a lot, is like, your perfect timing of when to say something. It seems like you're always really good about that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the way you're very inviting with your tone, and like, it's very clear to hear what you say.
Right.
Like you don't have jumble in your like words. When you say something, you say it,
Right.
and it's there. And I think that's something that's really good with you. I'm definitely a little bit wary about the transitions.
Right. I am too.
That's like my only spot that I'm really worried about. But I feel like the way your organization flows, that's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see your visuals. Because that's what you do. Like,
Right.
So I'm not like
I
feel like I'm the unexpert preaching to the expert about what the expert does.
Well, yeah, but
the
it's like stuff I wouldn't know that, like the
Right.
voice thing. Like,
Oh, not this, but like the visuals
Oh.
wise, like your PowerPoint, like I feel bad because like I don't know how, but because all of your visuals are always really good, so I just like keep on doing that, Alex, because
you say that, but it's like not something that like. I don't know. Maybe it's like artist doesn't like see the good in their own art.
Yeah.
They see the bad. But I like see my own style as like something that's, to me a little. I don't have a better word for it. Like scuffed in a way.
Yeah.
So there's like certain things I see about it, but like I don't know. For this one, I don't feel like it's something that I'm gonna have as harsh, like with the hockey one, like it was very like boom one word in a picture or something, boom one word, like it was very concrete, top bottom, top bottom, top bottom. But I feel like this one, most of my visuals are just going to be of pictures I've taken of stuff, and like when I'm out
just full
and about,
screen.
right? Because I don't feel like certain words necessarily hit as hard. To me, this isn't one that is. This isn't about the singular word. Like the question at the end is very important.
Right.
But like the beginning of the road, the beginning of the sidewalk and the end of the sidewalk, I think hits really well. But it's something that doesn't require words, and I don't want this to be something that requires words because. I'm going to walk while I do this because it's going to be easier for me to talk about. Because when I'm walking, nothing but like everything is in front of you. Like
Right.
there's nothing that's like, hey, this has a bunch of words on it, like you gotta read it. Like there's nothing like that when you're walking around and you're doing that stuff. And so I don't want the visuals to be something that's like, you know, over the top, like a bunch of extra white space. I want it to be fully open. Like I want the pictures to speak to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm talking about like, you know, the ducks and all that stuff. Hope there's not. If there's a class after this, whatever.
Are there people waiting out there?
No, I just saw somebody who was
Oh,
like opening
I was
back
supposed to
back.
say,
So
we'll just move it.
right, I was worried about it. Because I want it to be. Well, there is one person outside, and he's like looking at me.
Should I ask? I'll just go.
Yeah. We can move to another room. That's
I know.
fine.
Hey, weird question. Do you guys have class in here?
Yes.
They do.
There you go. I guess actually we're gonna pause this for a minute, and we'll jump cut move.
You can just keep it open. We'll just move it. You're fine. 'Cause-
Part 2. We're doing part 2. Sorry, Ashley.
All right. So we left off on me talking about how your visuals are really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have awesome visuals. I think your voice and your pitch are very good. Like I
Mhm.
think that, and then your like ability to connect with the audience is like what sets you apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to focus on for like presenting wise, controlling emotion because that's going to be the top one.
Mhm.
Staying like, I don't want to say in character, but like in character. And I think it'll be good for you to kind of like break down a little bit, just not like cry.
Right.
Just
Right.
kind of like show that like you could be on the verge, but like you're not going to because
Right.
you're strong.
Right.
And then maybe working on like the palms up, which is just going to be like instinctual.
Yeah.
But like you do a really good job already in doing that because you want to be more inviting rather than solidifying.
Mhm.
Like you here, come. And then you already use really good tone, so just keep on doing that because you do really well. You do use life examples. Clean transitions is what we're both kind of worried about.
Mhm.
Visuals, they're going to be on point, and then watching the breathing. I don't know what she means by that. I think it's like. So you're not-
Well, okay, so this is something that like I noticed,
Mhm.
and I'm sure Ashley, I'm not going to speak too much about what you always say, but like a lot of times, like when you get nervous, you shorten your breath, and it makes you speed up what you're saying, and
seem
you
very
lose
natural
yourself.
there. So.
Yeah, but it's because I think about it beforehand, because it's something that I have to be aware of, because I tend to, when I get like extra nervous, I'll like shake and my breathing gets really short, so I have to be conscious about that, because if I'm not,
Right.
then I go really fast.
Maybe something to help with that is like when you hit emotional stops, just pause.
Okay.
Just like
Before
pause.
I speak,
Mhm.
can you just have a conversation with me?
Yeah.
Because that will calm me down.
Yeah,
If you
of
just
course.
talk to me about something completely random, then that'll help me.
We can go on a walk
Yes.
if you want.
Well, I go like 6th, so.
Oh shit. Okay.
But just like when I'm going
Yes.
to go up,
Yep.
like right after I set up while
Yep.
she's still taking notes.
Mhm.
Take as many notes as you want on the one before me, Ashley. That'll
Yep.
kind of calm me down.
Okay. I'll talk. I will write that down. I'll take a mental note of that. So let's do some like line by lines. So
Okay.
maybe like pick out a few lines, like maybe like the last section, because that's supposed to be a really strong point, and maybe like a transition or two, like something like leading from a story to your like here's my point. Like pick out like a line or two that you're for sure going to want to say, and then we'll like strengthen that line.
Okay.
Because I know it's like you don't really write out your scripts, but if you like, I know like you have to have points in
Right.
order to know what you're going to say. So maybe like when you're going to introduce that point, let's talk about that.
So on the explaining of the first section, that's kind of where I want to have the where the sidewalk ends.
Mm-hmm.
So something with that, because I want that to be the start of the explanation, like early on in it.
Yep.
So that when I have it at the end, right before I ask the do you wanna go for a walk? I want that to be like so don't think about where the sidewalk ends. Don't look at it as where the sidewalk ends. Look at it as where the sidewalk begins.
Okay.
And that to be the visual to come up. And then so what do you say? Do you wanna go for a walk?
Okay, let's solidify that.
That-
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So,
Take a breath, step back, think about what you're going to think about it as it was going to be real. So like your hand motions, how you want to say it. If you need to say blah 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 blah, like to lead into that last sentence, go for it. Because I know you don't really know for sure what you're going to say, but you know you're going to say those lines.
Right.
So yes.
but I like the way that that's
Yeah.
set up. So it would be,
Just think about it, give it a
Yeah.
second, take a deep breath.
I want to lead into it though, because I don't like isolating it feels weird to me because
Okay,
I don't think
okay.
it doesn't feel isolated. So something like a walk is free form. A walk is not going to a specific place, it's going to any place. So don't think of it as where the road ends. Think of it as where the road begins. So what do you say? Want to go for a walk?
Okay, let's stop there. When you say, so think about it, pause.
Uh-huh.
Because you need to give them
Time.
at least
Time to think
a
about
couple. So think about it.
Yeah.
And kind of raise your voice a little bit because it's kind of a demand.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. Do you want to
You want to go for a walk?
right, and be friendly about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's try just that line right there. So hand motions, it was real, just that. So think about it, with the pause.
Okay.
Yeah.
So think about it. You want to go for a walk?
I think that's a lot better.
Okay.
Okay, and then before you talk about don't think about, what was it, something about the end.
Don't, I don't think I should say think twice because that feels
No.
redundant. So don't see it as.
Okay,
So don't see it as where the sidewalk ends. See it as where the sidewalk begins.
okay, try that part right there.
Okay.
And you can lead into that if you need to.
I don't really have anything to lead
Okay.
into it with yet. Okay, I'll just do it. So it's weird.
Just work it out. Jellyfish it.
So don't see it as where the sidewalk ends. See it as where the sidewalk begins.
Oh, I like that. Okay, that was solid. And I liked how you don't see how it ends, but see it how it begins.
Right. Because left, right,
Right, story.
right.
Turn in the page. Do it all together. Start back, move forward.
So don't
wherever
see
you
it as where the sidewalk ends. See it where the sidewalk begins. So think about it. You want to go for a walk.
Maybe not so much of a pause, but something
Right.
about it.
But I mean, that's just
Yeah.
me, out
Yep.
loud. Okay.
Take it from the top. Shake it off, jellyfish.
It's weird going in the middle of that, I gotta be honest.
I know. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, but it makes sense for
Right.
doing
She
it.
wants to do it line by line, so that's how we're gonna give it. But I understand that's your thought process and how it works. That's why I kind of wanted to focus on your thought process and organization and how you wanted, so you knew where you're going.
Right. But I feel like these two lines are very important
Yes.
for the whole rest of, it sets up everything else that I'm gonna put before
I
it.
agree.
Okay.
You got this.
So don't see it as where the sidewalk ends. See it as where it begins. And think about it. You wanna go for a walk?
I like that. Yes. And the little quirky smile at the end. That was cute. Keep it, because it's kind of upbeat now.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go for a walk.
Let's go for a walk.
Keep the smile. I like
Go
the
for a
smile.
walk.
That was a nice touch that I didn't think about. It was very natural too.
One more time.
Yeah, go for it. Let's go.
So don't think about it as where the sidewalk begins. I knew I was gonna do that. I knew I was gonna do that. It's so hard to do end to beginning.
Right.
Alright. So don't think about it as where the sidewalk ends. Think about it as where the sidewalk begins. And think about it. You wanna go for a walk?
I think that's cute, guys. That was a great end. Okay, I think that end was great. I think it solidifies the idea that hey, this is not harsh or meaning, and like we're not focusing on my story here. It's all about kind of yours.
Mhm.
I felt like welcomed, and like I think that's a really good like way to end it.
Right.
Very, because it's like it's not the end, it's the beginning.
Right.
But let's go. Like you're kind of like you're
Yeah.
my friend. It's like welcoming.
Right.
Hello.
Can we do it one more time? But
Yes,
maybe
of
like
course.
way back because
Of course.
I'm worried that if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna look because like practicing it like this, I'm
Yeah.
worried I'm gonna look down. So if you're like way back, and you trip on every chair on the way back.
I know. I feel like an idiot. I'm trying to get through the like jumble of the chairs.
Because it's like now I don't have to be.
Oh, we can work on voice projection.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank God I did radio.
That's why I was like, you do a really good job with your voice and your enunciation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like something strong about you. Ready? Go.
So don't think about it as where the sidewalk ends, but as where the sidewalk begins. And think about it. You want to go for a walk? Thank you. Thank you. I can wait.
Boy, I don't see anybody. We're still doing good.
I don't care if anybody comes in.
Right, I'm just weird at like this big lecture hall.
It's
routine.
great. I can practice on a stage. It's awesome. Even if I'm going to be at eye level with everybody, pretty much.
Right, but I feel like putting you on eye level rather than a stage allows you to be like with your
Right,
confidence.
and it helps what I'm talking about. But like this is great because I can.
Right, you move. I feel like you're in control,
Yeah.
not me. I
Well,
love
it's
it.
nice. I actually like this. This is. I don't know. I've kind of been super interested in doing like public speaking stuff lately. So.
I want to see that. Like, I've never gave a speech bigger than like our
Awesome.
class. I wonder what it would feel like.
My dad used to do it
Really?
when he first his very first job was with Junior Achievement when he was straight out of college.
Oh goodness,
And he
yeah.
was doing like a lot of speech. He said he was doing like 100 plus a week,
Right.
where he'd speak to whole groups of
That's
people.
awesome.
And he's like, yeah, it's just how I got really good at it. And so he came and talked to my advanced sales course, and
Uh-huh.
he was like so over the hill good at like talking to like a small classroom. But it's because it's something.
I
he's
wish
trained in.
Ashley gave us that experience. I don't know, like how or yeah, Ashley. I'd
Ashley,
love the
see if you
experience to be with
see if you can add it to the curriculum of
Mhm.
speaking to a large group like the one we're in right now, even if there's nobody in the chat. I don't know if that's possible, but I think that would be cool.
I do too. I don't know how.
Because we do the experience like with Shark Tank.
Right.
I think doing a large speech experience, like with the big talk, would be good.
I do too.
That's her decision, not ours. But
Yes, I agree. Let's see. Let's develop our plan now. What are we gonna do for you? I definitely think like I know I'm not gonna be there, but like let's run it through a couple times in your car before
yeah,
an hour before you're gonna get the
that's
presentation.
what I always do.
I know that is, but maybe like run a couple times just so you can get a feel of those transitions.
Mhm.
Because I think that's where we're both a little worried about. Is
Right.
like how you're going to smoothly run into like
From one.
a story to now this is why it matters.
Right.
Without being harsh.
Right.
Um,
Without it being a cut where it flows together.
develop a script using coaching video. What if your brainstorming at least 5 feet? Oh, okay, that was just an example. Your stories, they are very cohesive and they're to the point because like afterwards you're like, this is why it matters. So I think like that's a very strong point. Your visual aids are not actually going to be your strong point this time, which I'm curious to see because they're just going to be your picture
Right.
and it's going to be there.
But I want it to feel like we're on block
Exactly.
together.
So I think that's going to aid in your speech.
Yeah.
We're giving a speech.
Yeah.
I think this
That's what's happening.
aid in your speech rather than like being your speech, which I think is like a good idea.
Mhm.
Because that's like what Ashley's always made us feel like our PowerPoints aren't our speech, but they're trying to be like not so distracting, but your PowerPoints are never that distracting. Set practice dates. Okay, that's what I said. Like maybe try a couple times in the car besides the last hour before you usually
Right.
give your speech. But just because it is kind of like a big speech, like you do give a lot of emotion, I think maybe practicing in the mirror when it comes to those emotion ones,
Mhm.
because then it's kind of like you have to confront yourself before you confront everybody else, and if you can hold those emotions into yourself, you can hold those emotions into everyone else
Right.
too.
I also have roommates that I can present to who will heckle me the entire time.
Yes.
It'd be great.
Yes, as long as they're not people that talk about pooping in each other's bed while you're trying to give them presentations. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's what my two
I'm sorry, Ashley.
roommate friends do.
Interesting.
But yes, I think maybe like practicing those like emotional parts
Mhm.
to somebody or even yourself
Right.
might help with like, because you still want to be emotional.
But you want it to be nice.
Yes, and you don't want to like, I don't want you to break down because then I'm gonna feel like I need to give you a hug,
Yeah.
and I feel like everybody's gonna be like, oh God, Alex, like it's okay, buddy. Like,
I'll be fine. I might
Yeah.
get choked out during it, but
but like I think if you do, that's good. Good reminder to just stop,
Mhm.
take a breath, and then go back at it. And I think everybody's going to understand it's better than using verbal crutches. It shows like emotion too.
Yeah.
Just a nice pause and be like, okay.
well, I really wanted to do something that I couldn't get like I'm definitely passionate about this, but I'm not like,
I feel that.
fist to the table.
Oh, it says practice in front of another individual for a different perspective. Oh, I am a female.
Convenient. Thanks, Ashley.
But yes, I definitely think like practicing like an emotional part to make sure you have everything solidified and understood and kind of like it's still emotionally attached but like detached from like too emotional.
Mhm.
And then practicing maybe a couple times before of like an idea of what you're going to say.
Right.
So kind of like running it through your brain and making your brain process it before the hour before. Transitions. Because we don't know how those are going to go. But I know you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
Yes.
Yes.
That I don't think that
I don't think
it'll
it's gonna
be
hard.
about ironing it out and
Yeah.
ironing it out and
Yeah.
ironing it out until all the wrinkles are gone.
Yeah.
But that'll probably be something. Usually, if I do write something, it's more like broad,
Mhm.
but in transitions, for me, it's important to have
Right.
something.
And I feel like that's just,
How
you're
I
going to
think
like
from.
try a line and then the next day
Yeah.
goes for something else. So
Yeah.
maybe try like one transition at a time and work your way because maybe like it's going to happen when you're like, oh, and don't forget this is my point. And like,
Yeah.
here's why it matters. Or like,
Look,
why
I was
do you
gonna have
go-
that before the sidewalk now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was gonna be like,
So make sure to add why does it matter.
yeah. But here's why it matters.
I forgot about that.
Which for me it was gonna be, we have a lot of pressure and a lot of anxiety and a lot of weight in our daily lives. And there are very few things that allow us to drop all those things and just be out.
Mhm.
And walking gives us the opportunity to do all that.
Yeah.
So don't think of it as where the
Ooh.
sidewalk ends.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, so
Yes. I like that.
Yeah.
So why does it matter right there? What do you think is going to be your like wow or aha moment? Because I know she like asked us that in our outline. And I know your idea is totally different, but I kind of want you to keep that in mind.
Right.
When you're like hiring
well, I think it's gonna be that one at the end.
in the end.
Yeah, because I want the stories to lead into that point
Mhm.
and for that to
Okay.
because those lead to the click of want to go for a walk.
I like how we practice that.
Right. Because I feel like a lot of times we overthink a lot of things
Mhm.
and just asking yourself or someone else want to go for a walk is like such a it's such a like basic thing,
Mhm.
but it's like not something that like I experience a lot or like I see other people just like saying to like
Mhm.
their friends or their significant others. Like
We just gotta remember not to rush through that ending too. Like if you're coming close on time, like don't
Yeah,
rush.
well that's I have to fit that. Like that needs it's important that I fit that.
Yeah.
So locking down the rest of it to make that time right, because what, 8 to 10?
Yeah.
That even feels short to me.
Me too now.
I was like
Like I was
I
going
was watching
through
so
like,
many like 18-minute ones. It's like 8 to 10 is like Sure. Not that that's a bad thing, Ashley.
Yeah, don't change it.
Yeah, it's
But,
fine how it is.
My thing is like I didn't even think about time because when I did mine with Derek, I was like, time's not gonna matter because Derek and I will work time out.
Right.
Yeah, I wrote the whole thing out and like I was at like 9 minutes. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
cut that out. Oh, I needed to ask, but we can be done. Awesome. Great job. You're gonna do
Go
great.
team.
Go team.
I'm really glad I threw my old one out.